That's it. It's the 8:05 post show, all part of the Vans US Open of Surfing and the Vans Duct Tape Invitational, live from the beach here at Huntington. Zooming down on our complex here, and quite a structure it is. We have the Van Doren Village, our broadcast, our surfers deck. We got skateboarding. We've had BMX. We got the market. We got everything, engagements. It is the world's largest action sports festival. My name's Kaipo. This is Shannon Hughes. And the Hall of Famer, Peter Mel, is also joining
Not
me.
yet. I'm not there yet.
Almost soon to be Hall of Famer, Peter Mel.
Can't claim it too early.
Nah, he's been claiming it for like 2 months right now. Peter,
5 years?
Your thoughts on the day right now? Let's go.
Pretty cool. You know, Duct Tape Invitational, the conglomerate between the WSL Longboard Tour and the Duct Tape Invitational here at Huntington Beach. I've always enjoyed watching the Duct Tape Invitational over the years I've been able to commentate for this event. And then to see a little bit more competitive desire in it. You know, the duct tape was usually a little bit more low-key and, more fun, but now there was a little bit of competitiveness in it, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah. And your thoughts, Shannon?
Oh, I'm happy. I'm in my element. I got to watch longboarding all day long. I got to hang out with all my friends, and the level of competition was excellent. It was really fun to have that duct tape element to it, but we got to remember this pack is looking towards a world title at Malibu, and so they're on their way.
Well, speaking of your friends, your friend just won the last heat of the day, Rachael Tilley, and she's with Louisa.
Yeah, and she was just telling me that she thought she got lucky. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was kind of, I guess all about wave selection out there, and it's been really tough all day and changing constantly between each heat, and I kind of just got lucky with that first one with the girls being farther down the beach, which was my original strategy. And right before I paddled out, I decided, no, I'm actually going to sit next to the pier. And fortunately, that one just pulled popped up and got that one, and then got to get the second one back to back. And then I sat in a nice, comfortable place for the rest of the heat.
Amazing. And I think you were the last heat and you had that advantage of watching every woman surfing today and understanding the scoring. So you got the highest score of the day pretty much. So did you understand what the judges wanted and what you had to do to be here right now?
Yeah, I think it was trying to just find the waves that allowed a little bit more time to spend time on the nose out the back. And then the ones, if you were able to connect it into the inside and finish off at the end, kind of gave a nice complete wave. So those are the ones I was trying to piece together.
And coming to a place that you have won before, is it impossible or is it possible to not compare yourself to 2015?
I mean, I try and use it as a place to give me confidence rather than pressure. And I have a lot of experience out here at Huntington, so I'm trying to use all of that to just lend to my knowledge and advantages, hopefully, and we'll see what happens.
Amazing. I hope you guys feel this good vibe that she's giving us. She feels so light and so happy. Congratulations. I hope to see you thriving on your next heat again.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations to Rachael Tilley. You called that heat, and she did put a performance on out there.
She just found the right waves. I mean, she did exactly what the judging criteria called for. It reminded me of some waves that we saw from Conyella Stewart also, where it was just really fluid nose rides out the start, but also connecting everything together with a lot of grace and flow, which is part of the criteria, and she nailed it.
Yeah. Checking all the boxes, and wave selection, Pete, pretty important out here today.
Well, I love that she was able to just make an adjustment when she saw what was kind of happening and said, oh, well, I'll just go over here. And, basically the Pier Bowl is going to be the most consistent region on this point, or on this beach break. So I like the decision-making there. It also obviously paid off in a big way. She picked up her 2 waves really quick.
Oh, yeah. So, hey, switching subjects, let's take a look at the men's Duct Tape Invitational, and a guy that has won this numerous times, Justin Quintal. He put on a show again with Steven Sawyer as well. But look at Quintal as well as Tony Salvani. Quintal came really hot out the gates with some nose rides, Shannon.
Yeah, he is just so good at surfing big Huntington Beach. He won here the last time the duct tape event won. On waves just like that. Perfect hang 10, straight in the pocket, on really solid, fast running lefts from Hurricane Frank, which is the level of difficulty that he is performing at on these waves is honestly insane.
Talk about shooting the pier.
Nobody else can do this. This is all Jay Quinney all day long. for him to get some excellent scores out in the lineup and then shoot the pier and just be so comfortable doing that with no leg rope and no worry in the slightest. It's good to see him back in true form.
Yeah, Quintal continues his domination here at Huntington Beach. Really comfortable in the pilings and put up some big numbers. An 8.67 and a flat 7, 15 point near an excellent heat total, Pete.
Well, and you see Steven Sawyer put up a good number too, so both those surfers doing very well. Unfortunately for Silvani, just really didn't get the quality waves in that heat. It happens, sometimes the wave back is just not in your back pocket.
He also buckled his board, Tony Silvani, in that heat, so everything kind of went against him, but great performance from Quintal and Sawyer.
Yeah, great performance. But we had some unfinished business this morning. We had to finish off the women's round of 16 to set up the quarterfinals on the Challenger Series. And we saw an on-fire Bettlyou Sakura Johnson. She was up against Sawyer Lindblad. Here's Bettlyou on the backhand, Shannon.
That was really exciting to see her come out firing this morning. Up against Sawyer, they're similar ages. They're kind of on that same trajectory and pathway within their professional careers. Bettlyou just a little bit ahead with some championship tour experience behind her now. And it was a really solid battle. I honestly felt like for Bettlyou, Sawyer was probably the hardest surfer to draw, but she found that 8-point ride. I think it was the first 8 in the women's side of the draw on the Challenger Series on a right. Everything else has been from left, and she just picked the cream of the crop.
Yeah, there you go, the numbers, 8 and a 5.5 for Bettlyou Sakura Johnson. Hey, some decent numbers from Sawyer Lindblad, who has a bright future, but I love the fact, Peter, that Bettlyou is really getting the confidence back after, being a victim of that mid-season cup on the championship tour.
And it wasn't an easy draw. Like you had mentioned, Sawyer Lindblad was going to be a tough draw, especially here at Huntington Beach. So good job by her. She actually picked up that 8-point ride. Those 2 nice snaps on the outside were just beautiful.
Yeah, well, now that we've got through that women's round of 16, we have the quarterfinals all set for the Challenger Series here at the Vans US Open of Surfing. Let's take a look at those quarterfinals, and let's dig right into it. I'm calling Molly Picklum, Caroline Marks. That's going to be an epic matchup. What do you think, Shannon?
I couldn't agree with you more. That's going to be outstanding. I also love at the moment that we have Caroline Marks, who's probably the informed surfer of the event, on the opposite side of the draw to Caity Simmers, who's our returning champion and has been doing really well to make it through some heats here. So we could see the two of them match up in the final.
Yeah, we sure could. And, Caitlin Simmers, Sophie Macaulay, Peter, that is going to be another big matchup.
It is. Again, we saw those 2 match up in the finals in the last event. So I would say that that's going to be a matchup. And I think, it's been really going really well for Caitlin. And I hate to bet against her, but I think Sophie's going to give her a little run.
Yeah, we're going to see
throw a little, little something out there.
Sophie's here. She's hungry. I agree with
and
you.
You can see it. I mean, I saw her today in that heat. She just looks good. So I think that's going to be a good matchup. In both of those quarterfinals, the bottom ones, Caroline, whoever is going to make it out of those, he's probably going to go all the way to the final. And the bottom 2, whoever gets out of that, he's going to go all the way to the final.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, I think all the quarterfinals are stacked. But you know what? We have a lot of happenings here in addition to the surfing, as always. So really take a look at what we have over here. And this is the Duct Tape Festival over in the Van Dorn Village, where all these hand shapes are available to ride. What do you think, Pete? You're the board man.
I loved it. That's that's actually the Carl Hayward one that we saw talking to Edward Shapes. I just love that there's a shaping bay, a glassing bay, and it's just honoring the whole entire process of surfboard manufacturing, and that's what that Duct Tape Festival is all about.
Shannon, we got the street market over here in the Van Dorn Village, where there's all kinds of stuff to shop through. And I love the individual little booths where you can see some pretty cool gear.
Yeah, there's just so much cool stuff that's been happening down here this whole week. So if you're in the area and you haven't come down to Huntington Beach for some reason, you've had work, you've had other requirements, reschedule. Get down here because it's worth it. It's all worth it for the Vans US Open.
Well, now it's time for the Stillhouse Unbreakable Top 5. Let's look at the top 5 moments of today. Day number 6 here at the US Open. We're going to start out with Bettlyou, Sakura, Johnson, Pete.
Yeah, well, this is the heat we got to see. This was the highlight heat of the quarterfinals this morning, and this wave specifically was the one I was talking about. Just a beautiful snap, and then straight into another one, and just so aggressive in that final closeout move. That's why that went up to the 8-point range, especially with that low tide this morning. Very vertical face, very hard to find multiple sections.
Shannon, when we got into the Duct Tape Invitational, there was a little bit of carnage this morning as well.
First 2 heats of the event, we had 2 broken boards. Jules broke his into the sand. Nose went straight into the sand and just snapped it off with that white water. That was a bummer because it was a borrowed board from Tosh Tudor. It wasn't even his own board. And then you had to paddle out on another borrowed board. And then this from Victoria Vergara. Now, it looked like it snapped on the pier from what we saw earlier today, but chatting to her, she felt it snap in her hand doing that turtle roll because the wave broke straight on top.
Wow, that's crazy.
Harrison Roach, he's got style for days. He's number 3.
Yeah, and that's this was one of the highlights of that first round because this guy has been putting it together, all year, all for the last decade. So it's good to see and just so smooth. Look at the tide, though. This is a little bit later in the afternoon, and it definitely made for some great surfing.
There's a reason he's number 1 in the world.
Oh, yeah, and you can see why. Just smooth, connecting the dots, and that's just some shadows of things to come. Shannon, Rachael Tilly ended the day with a bang and put on a show out here.
Oh, highest heat total, found herself a high 6 for her opening ride, which was just an absolute gem in the rough. Had a nice little soul arch bottom turn there, finished off in a challenging section as well, and then backed it up with an 8. Great wave selection, as you said, Pete. Just found that momentum, put herself in the right position, had that kind of calm mentality about it. And I love to look at that ride, met the criteria perfectly, found an excellent hang 10 through that inside section, and then went for it on the finish. She got an 8 without even finishing off the wave because the rest of it was so good.
There you go. And number 1, Justin Quintal. Quinny continues to dominate at the Huntington Beach Pier. Peter?
I like to think that a lot of the reason his success here at Huntington Beach is the fact that he grew up on the East Coast and beach breaks, and I think he's just so quick because you've had to be, you've forced to be, and it's just understandable that he has it at the comfort level, that he comes here to Huntington Beach, he's got that winning feeling, and he brings it to the table every time he comes to this Duct Tape Invitational. Fun to watch, and I'm sure, and he's such a sweetheart. He's just a great guy.
Yeah, he sure is. And look at this. This is the mastery of weaving through the pilings. These are some dangerous lines that he's able in some troubled water, but no problem for Justin Quintal.
Moments like that, you can really tell that a board looks perfect under someone's feet, and what a way to kick things off for the reigning champ, the returning champion of the Vans US Open, the Duct Tape Invitational here.
Yeah, and he looks like he's going to be trouble for the other competitors. Okay, hey, you know what, gang? Let's just do this tomorrow. You ready to do this tomorrow again?
Oh, yeah.
I'm here.
Okay, we're going to do this tomorrow. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Peter. Thank you all for watching the 805 Post Show. Please enjoy today's highlights, and we'll see you tomorrow, 7:30 a.m.
We're going to have so many fans down here on the beach getting ready to go for another big day here at the Vans US Open of surfing.
Today it just seems like that best day so far.
It's going to be a great day.
She's now taking off on the very first wave. Huge snap on her forehand.
What a way to start things off for young Bronte. Ooh, good wave here.
Bettlyou now on her forehand. Nice snap to start. Throws a lot of spray. Connects with the lip for that finish. The Johnson family feeling stoked.
Caity Simmers, speaking of style, snaps up on the top. Current number 1 in the rankings. A prodigy.
All right, surf fans, this is your first look at the Duct Tape Invitational.
Look at that nose ride.
Tosh Tudor's been doing that since he's about 6 years old. And we see a Cheater 5 coffin ride.
Hot dogging that board around, sort of feeling really free off that tail.
There's a beautiful cross step forward to the nose.
Are you
another
kidding
broken
me?
board.
First time ever. We're making history the long way. 2 broken boards. We're going to need a lot of duct tape for that one.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form